Hi, I'm Manda McKay. I'm a professional artist and I'm making these videos with tips to help people enhance their creativity. And these tips are meant to be useful whether you're just starting out with a creative hobby or maybe you've been working at some form of art for a long time. Either way, these tips are meant to help anybody at any level. So for this video, I want to talk about something that you've probably heard over and over, which is basically that TV is bad for your creativity, and I want to examine whether or not that's actually true. And I do think the answer to that is it depends. Now, it seems like any time that I read an article about productivity, time management, it'll inevitably say, stop looking at screens, basically. But I do think that why you're looking at screens and also what specifically you're looking at is going to make a big difference. So if you're just watching various things without being engaged, just like short little clips, just scrolling through on TikTok, well, that might be a waste of time. But even that depends. If you're really, really stressed and overwhelmed, and you probably don't have the energy to work on anything creative anyway, then whether you're scrolling on TikTok or watching TV might be good within a limited amount of time anyway, to help you relax or to help you go to sleep. Usually I wind up more often than not, I watch something on TV before going to bed, even though that's supposed to keep you awake, but honestly, a lot of times it helps me to shut my brain off and go to sleep. So if it's helping you deal with overwhelm or lack of energy or helping you fall asleep, which of course getting good sleep is very important just in general. It's one of the best things we can do for our health. Then I say it's a good thing. Now, of course, I've talked before about the concept of filling the well, which is, or input versus output, which is that we all need something to inspire us. And it can be anything, for me often it's taking a walk in the woods. I will find something to inspire me. But it can also be found on television. And this is especially true if you happen to be a storyteller of some sort, whether a novelist or maybe you're wanting to make your own TV show. Obviously, you can watch something and that can give you some kind of inspiration, or maybe it's a warning about what not to do, and therefore a learning experience. Maybe you're watching something, a TV show, and you're like, oh, this is awful, and you're able to kind of analyze why and say like, well, when I do my own TV show, I'm going to avoid whatever that thing is. Now, I do think another way that watching something, like a TV show, another way that it can be helpful is to deal with negative emotions. And I know we're supposed to sit with our emotions and confront them and not avoid them. But sometimes when it's something that's so all-encompassing, you need a break from it. And I will give an example of when a family member died. I mean, okay, the person is gone. Do I really need to night after night after night dwell on that? Because believe me, when that happens, if you're lucky enough to have not experienced something like this, it's going to be there. It's going to always be there for a long, long time. And I don't know that there's anything to be gained by just kind of wallowing all the time that you're awake and thinking about the fact that that person is gone. And there was a specifically family member of mine that passed away some years ago, and Twilight Zone got me through. My husband and I just started watching Twilight Zone and going through all the episodes in order. And again, this was before going to bed, so it would help, shut our brains off from, dwelling on something so negative right before trying to go to bed. And I really think it helped us to cope with this loss because it was a form of escapism, and it just took our minds off of the terrible thing that was very, very hard to escape from. And I mean, just sitting there trying to have a conversation with each other would always just lead back to the loss. So I think depending on why you're watching something, the purpose of it can actually be a good thing. Now, I mean, if you're just kind of postponing because you know you need to get to work on something and you just don't want to do it, and you're just using, you know, you're watching screens to avoid getting started, if that's the case, well, first of all, I would set a time limit of, say, 10 minutes that you're going to let yourself do this and then you're going to get to work. You may need to do a deep dive in examining why you are so reluctant to get started on whatever project you're supposed to be working on, to see if there's like some bigger issue standing in your way, like your health or your environment. But in general, I don't think we should just dismiss watching TV as something bad for creative people or bad for time management, because honestly, I do think that, like I said, at least as far as if it helps you get to sleep at night, then that's very, very worthwhile, because it doesn't matter how well you're managing your time if you're just exhausted and asleep on your feet. So anyway, let me know if you have an opinion, because I know a lot of people disagree with me on this, and I'd welcome differing opinions, and, you know, tell me why you disagree and or why you agree, what your personal experience has been. But I do hope that this was helpful. Again, my name is Amanda McKay, and thank you so much for watching.